Welcome. This is your 15-minute lower body conditioning routine performed on the floor. So when you're ready, we're going to come down onto your back on a mat or just into a comfortable space. Lying down onto the floor, we want to take a second just to relax into the mat. All right, feeling the head heavy, the neck tension free, and the pelvis nice and rooted into the floor. We're going to start with a wide glute bridge. So feet are a little bit wider than the hips. You're thinking about the footprint, the outline of your foot pushing down into the floor. What we're going to do is we're going to lift those arms up straight towards the ceiling, and then we're going to lift the hips into the air. Keeping the arms where they are, we lower the hips down and press them back up. So take your first couple repetitions just to really figure out where the top of your bridge is. And then when you're comfortable, you're moving through them at a nice steady pace. Really thinking about the footprints pushing down into the floor. All of the work coming from the backs of the legs. We're aiming for anything between 8 to 12 repetitions of these wide bridges. All right? If at any point you feel like you need more support, feel free to bring those arms back down to the floor just for a little bit of stability. Let's go for 2 more together. All the way up and down. All the way up. Let's hold this last repetition up. Drive those feet down through the floor. Drive the hips up. Good. We're holding it there. You want to imagine that the hips are getting higher and higher and higher, and the feet are pressing lower and lower into the floor for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bringing that down, and we're going to take a bit of a breather. So just hugging the knees into the chest, rocking side to side. I'm going to drop my left foot down to the floor, take hold of my right leg, and bring it into a cross-body stretch for 3, 2, and 1. Coming back, both knees into the chest. Drop my right leg, take hold of my left knee with my right hand, and bring it across the body. For 3, 2, and 1. Coming back into the center. We're going to go into a side lying position. So turning over, I've got my right leg on top, okay? I've got my head nice and comfortable into my bottom hand, bringing the knees into the chest. Knees are in line with the hips, and the feet are in line with the knees. I'm going to lift that top leg up and just establish this position, okay? Spine is nice and straight, head is relaxed into my top arm, and we're going to begin to move. We're closing and opening this leg. Feel free to rest this top hand just on the thigh and guide the movement. At no point do we want this leg going higher than hip height. Okay, so just closing and opening. We also want to focus on controlling the close, not allowing the leg to collapse. We're moving through anything between 8 to 16 reps of this close and open, depending on how long you'd like to keep yourself there for. Let's go for another 3 together. 3, 2, 1. Holding the leg up. From here, we're going to hover the hand just 2 inches above this knee. Keeping the hand where it is, the leg moves towards the hand and back to start position. So tiny taps, only in the range of about 2 or 3 inches. All right, nothing else in the body is moving. The leg is totally isolated with this movement. We're tapping into the hand and coming back down just to the start position. We've got 4 more to do. 4, 3, 2. Last one, pressing up into the hand. We're going to create a little bit of power through the hand against the leg. The leg is fighting to stay in its position for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. The leg relaxes down and we lie back onto our backs. We're now going to take that into a single leg bridge using the same leg that was our working leg. So it's your right leg if you're following along. If you're not, just make sure it's the same glute that's burning that stays down on the floor. Feet come together, arms along at the sides. I lift my left leg into a lazy tabletop position, and I've got my right footprint pushing down into the floor. When you're ready, you're lifting those hips up, finding your single leg bridge, and coming back down onto the floor. So you're working through these repetitions. Single leg bridge, likely to feel a lot more challenging than the one we started off with. Not only is your base narrower, but you only have one to work with, and you're fighting to support the pelvis. On the opposite side, moving through anything between 8 to 12 repetitions, trying to get as high into that extension as possible and control the lower. Good. Let's go for 3 more. 3, 2. Last time, lifting that pelvis up, holding it there. We're going to raise those arms up for an extra challenge, just maintaining the bridge. You don't need to pulse, you don't need to lift any higher. You just want to prevent the pelvis from sagging as much as possible. Holding it there for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lowering down, hugging the knees into the chest. We're going to go into a sideline position for the other leg. So I now want to make sure that my left leg is on top, okay? Bringing the knees into the chest, resting my head heavy into my arm, and lifting that left leg up. So let's just check the position. Knees are in line with hips. Feet are in line with the knees. Got a little bit of space between the thighs, not higher than hip height. And I'm hanging out here. Couple deep breaths, just allow everything to reset. Resting my hand on my thigh, I'm going to start to close and open. I'm moving through those guided close and opens, not collapsing as I close, and not going too high as I open. Let's go 3 more. 3, 2, 1, holding it up. I'm now going to take that top hand, create a 2 to 3 inch gap above my top knee, and then I'm tapping the hand and bring it to the start position. This is a really controlled and isolated movement. Not much else of the body should be moving or reacting to this. 3 more. 3, 2, 1. Very good. We're now going to create a little bit of pressure down through the arm and hand, up through the legs, so we're maintaining this position. We're fighting against ourselves. We're here for a final 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. We're taking that onto the back. We're going to find our single leg bridge with the left leg. So the glute that has just been working is our supporting foot. So feet are nice and narrow, arms are out to the side. I'm lifting my right leg into my chest, thinking about my left footprint pushing down into the floor. When you're ready, you're finding that single bridge and lower. So again, we are in a narrower position. Lifting the pelvis and maintaining height is going to become a little bit trickier, but I want you to just always go back to thinking about that footprint, pushing down into the floor. Anything between 8 to 12 repetitions in this movement. Let's go for 4 more together. 4, 3, 2, last one, lifting it up. When you're ready, you're going to float those arms up. This is just for a bit of an extra challenge. We're really just trying to maintain everything nice and still, lifted and stable for another 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lowering it down and hugging both the knees into the chest. Taking a little bit of a moment just to rock side to side, allowing everything a quick release. When you're ready, we're going to come into a kneeling position. So lying onto your side, coming onto your hands and knees. Just sit the bum back, roll the shoulders back a few times, and we're setting up for an elbow stand. So the elbows are coming down onto the floor, forearms are parallel. The knees are going to come together to begin. We're then going to extend the one leg out behind us, nice and straight. Keeping the hips as square as possible, even pressure through the forearms. I'm going to raise this top leg as high as I can without opening the hips, okay? So my hips remain nice and square, and then tapping the floor and lifting back up. So there is a lot of length through my extended leg, all right? You want full energy, no soft knees, but I want those hips to stay as square as I can manage. Lower abdominals are pulling up into the spine, And I've got pressure through my forearms and through my right shin down into the floor. Anything between 12 to 15 repetitions in this position. We're going to go for 3 more together. 3, 2. Last one, I'm lifting that leg up and I'm going to hold it there. I'm going to start to pulse it up in this position. Now my pulses are going higher and higher, not dropping low at any point. We're here for another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it up for a few more seconds. 3, 2, 1. Bringing it all the way in. I'm now going to find a shell stretch position. Bum onto the heels. And just allowing everything a moment to totally relax. Sitting that body up, rolling those shoulders back. And coming into a high kneeling position. So in my high kneeling position, I really want to feel support from the glutes and a nice lifted core. My arms are interlaced in front of me, pressure into the palms, and I'm just sitting the bum onto the heels and back up. So we're just going through a few of these, just giving everything a little bit of a breather. We want to do at least 6 repetitions. 2 more. Last one. And relax. Let's set up for the other side of our elbow stands. So elbows are going down. Forearms are parallel to one another. Knees are nice and close to begin with. Make sure it is the other leg that goes out. When you're ready, you're lifting it up. You're trying your best to keep that pelvis as square as possible. All right, not twisting that hip open. We're then going down to the floor and back up. Thinking of even pressure between both arms and my left shin. I'm lengthening through that right leg. I'm doing my best to not let it rotate outwards. Anything between 12 to 15 repetitions in this position. Let's go for 5 more together. 5, 4, 3, 2. Last one, I'm lifting it up, I'm holding it there. I'm starting to find a little pulse, okay? As you pulse, the temptation to open that hip is going to get more and more. Try and fight it as much as possible. We're here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Holding it up a few more seconds. Pressure through the forearms. Really feel that lift through the lower abdominals for 3, 2, 1, and bringing it down. Sitting back into your shell stretch, just giving everything a moment to release. When you're ready, sitting up, roll those shoulders back. We're going to find that high kneeling position again. All right, really engaging through the glutes, really lifting through the core. Palms are together. I'm sitting my bum back onto my heels and back up. 2 and up. 3 and up. Just 3 more. 4 and up. Last one. 5 and up. Down. Very good. Sitting back down, taking a moment to relax. We're going to bring it back down onto our backs. Taking a moment to settle down, we're going to find our bridges one more time. So here I'm working with a narrow bridge. We're going to keep both feet down on the floor. Arms are long at the sides, thinking about the footprints. When you're ready, you lift those hips up and we just hang out here at the top. So maintaining a lovely hip height, arms are at the sides. I'm going to start to lift the heels and lower with control. So we're moving slowly through some heel raises whilst maintaining this bridge position. Just really challenging ourselves to keep this hip extension whilst working the lower leg. All right, we've got 4 more reps. 4, 3, 2. Last one, keeping those heels up. Can we lift the hips a little bit higher? Think of just drawing those lower abdominals in and up. If you can, you're going to reach those hands up for the ceiling. We're holding this position, lifting the heels, lifting the hips for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. The heels lower first. And then with control, the pelvis comes back down to the floor. You're going to hug your knees into your chest. You're going to rock from side to side. Couple deep breaths. When you're ready, just a nice assisted roll up to come into a seated position, and you're done.